Hello. You're making some lunch with me. And I just wanted to chit-chat about it for a second. As you can tell, we're not going nutritious. I have 2 beef and bean burritos here. This has been a staple in my pregnancy after I kind of got where I could eat a little bit more. This is like my 3rd bag of these. I really shouldn't broadcast that, but what I'm noticing is as things get better with food, then I'll be like, oh, this is great. And then I will revert back. And I'm like, oh, now I can't eat this anymore again. Now I got, and I'm kind of feel like I'm constantly out here like floundering of what to eat, especially nutritious. I made some chicken salad, pretty healthy chicken salad. I make it with a little mayo, red wine vinegar is like the key, and mustard powder, salt, pepper, and sugar. Not like an overabundance of any of it. My chicken salad is fairly dry because I even eat it whenever I'm on my diets and stuff like that. But just trying to figure out what's gonna work, what's not. It's still a struggle. It's not as much of a struggle, and I'm not getting sick like I was. So in some ways it's better, but in other ways it's just hard. So while I was making my lunch, I was gonna talk about something else, and there's a reason that I am. I'm actually working today. I work from home currently. I work for an office, but with the pandemic and everything, it became a work from home situation, and that could change at any time. I'm not prepared for it to change. And what I have been doing, I've been doing this for a little while. I'm allotted an hour lunch break and then 2 15-minute breaks, and sometimes I utilize those and sometimes I don't. Really, I only do those for like appointments, if I have appointments or like stuff like that. So, but I've been taking my lunch and, I think I went too long on this. Yeah. I've been taking my lunch and taking it up to my office and just eating, while I work. And then I've been taking my lunch break, and that's how I've been getting things done to get ready for the baby and like stuff like that. Because as I've said before, we have a loft, and that's where my daughter's bedroom is, and I just needed to organize all of that. I'm putting salsa con queso on top of this because I couldn't find burritos with cheese on it, or cheese in it. So, so that's what I was going to talk about for a second. So after my daughter was born, I could kind of feel I was slipping away a little bit, and it became like more and more evident, and it has increasingly become more and more evident like over time after that. So part of my story with my daughter that I haven't addressed yet, and like I said, I'm using this as a diary, so this is part of my story with my daughter, and then where I'm going with this, within this pregnancy, is that I'm very close with family. I love my family. I'm close with my husband's family as well. We're just kind of tight knit, but I have literally always been very close to my family. And that kind of extends beyond my immediate family. It's, I'm very close with my family. And my grandpa started declining, really probably before my husband and I got married, and it just became more and more evident. Soon he was diagnosed with dementia, and it just was very, very difficult for my family, for me. It was just hard. If you've ever had a loved one that has struggled with dementia, you know what I'm talking about. It is very hard, and it's hard about like that person, but it's hard for like the people around. So like you're going through it with him, you're going through it like with my grandma, like stuff like that. So we decided to start trying for a baby, and we tried for 9 months, and we finally were successful. And we had told immediate family, and then we were going to host a barbecue and tell like everyone. And it had gotten bad enough that my grandpa was actually admitted to a nursing home the day before our barbecue, before our announcement. And that being said, maybe some people do. It was not our experience that my grandpa was just admitted to this nursing home and we would go and visit, and like that's all there was to it. It certainly wasn't. It was quite a road. It was quite a lot of drama. It was quite a difficult situation. He went to the hospital several times. He transferred and went to another nursing home in the middle of all that. So it was just hard. So like, you know, while my pregnancy with my daughter was exciting and we were all happy about it, and actually it was like the bright spot and everything, I did not take the time to connect. I did not take the time to invest. I did, but not as much. Everything was consumed with the chaos and the sadness and all the stuff that was going on just like within my family, both for me and then also for my family. Even though like I'm not saying everything has to be about me, but I'm just saying like, yes, your pregnant life goes on, but I just mean you're in this constant state of, oh my gosh, what's going on, what's going to happen, and worry, and just, you know, that's how it was. And then I had my daughter. My grandpa actually never met my daughter, and he passed away in December. My daughter was born in September and he passed away in December. And then of course through all that, then you have the funeral process, and then not only that, you have this grieving process, because again, my family is very close, you know, so these are just words coming out, but for us it's been this long horrible process of like grief and how it's impacted people. My grandma basically having to start her life at 82 years old, brand new. It's just been this whole thing, you know. And so you know, my hope with this one is that we get to just celebrate, and I'm not constantly bogged down in this state of like worry and depression and all these types of things. And we have recently gotten some more bad news, and so I don't want to like spiral or anything, but you know, I am pretty much like an empathetic person, and so I take things very hard and very much to heart. And so that is the struggle for me. That being said, with my daughter, I didn't realize, I knew it was impacting me. Of course I knew it was impacting me, and of course I knew everything always felt chaotic. It just, to me, even if it was, you would be looking at me and it's like, you know, you're fine, it's whatever. But for me, it was just like chaos. I just felt like chaos all the time, you know, with all the feelings and emotions and everything that I'm processing and going through and, you know, whatever. And I'm not trying to make this about me because it was about my family, but in a sense, I'm just, it's my viewpoint of it, you know, from my standpoint where I was at. And as my daughter's gotten older, I realized more and more, like I was struggling at the time and not acknowledging that, because I was just getting through every day. And every day felt like it brought new stuff. And I was just like, you know, and then after that, my grandma got sick. And without getting too detailed, it was a very, very long, grueling, stressful, devastating thing, stage 4 cancer, like all of this. Now my grandma is still with us. She's had surgery. Like she has been through it. She's been through it. But with that, there was just like the focus, my focus was with my family, and it was with my daughter. And, you know, but I'm saying gradually, like after she got better and things, you know, and you're like kind of getting back into the groove of life, let alone the fact that the pandemic hit like literally right after my grandpa passed away. And, you know, it just felt like, you know, I have been slowly almost opening my eyes, and that's a process for me. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I realize how in disarray me and my life and my house, everything got. So this last summer, fall, it was warm, I don't remember, we rented a dumpster and we purged this house. We got the biggest dumpster we could get. Now, we did have a hot tub we had to throw away, but we filled that dumpster. We filled it. Also, I want to put in here that I did used to do antiques. I bought and sold antiques, and I ended up with a lot of junk. So a lot of that had to just go. I mean, so I'm not saying we became hoarders, whatever, but like I had a lot of junk that I just accumulated. It just needed to go. So we purged the house then. And then of course you go through this whole tidal wave of holidays, and you know, it just got crazy again. And so now I have this fire in me almost, of I'm trying to get ready for baby number 2, and I'm trying to do the right things. I'm trying to stay connected. I'm trying to stay in the moment. And I'm not trying to say that that's difficult for me to do, but it is difficult to stay focused and not get sidetracked. So sometimes that's where I struggle. But like, as far as like the house cleaning, so I want to like be clear about this, especially on the main floor. I have stayed up on my regular house cleaning, but on the other floors it got away from me, and I've been gradually like getting that back in shape. And the things, even on the main level, like the things that I used to do once or twice a year, like with your spring cleaning and, you know, just things like that, it has been neglected for a couple of years now. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but it is true. And I know very well that I'm going into I'm 16 weeks. I was gonna give a bump date too. See if I can do that. I'm so short. But there's my little baby bump. It's definitely a little baby bump. And so, but I know I'm gonna go into the 3rd trimester, and not only do I have to dig my daughter's room back out of the disarray that it was in and get it organized and get things situated for a second baby, also getting the main level situated for a second baby, but also like I'm feeling this urge, like I want to get this house back where it used to be. I want to get it back clean. I want, you know, it's clean, but I want to get it like the kind of clean I used to relatively keep this house. Another baby's going to be in this house. And then also I know I'm not going to be in the shape to do any of that for a little while. I mean, unless my 3rd trimester just goes infinitely better than it did the first time. You know, there's that. And then also, you know, then you have a newborn, you have a baby. You can't be doing all this stuff all the time. So what I've been doing is taking my work breaks, and that's how I've been achieving some of this. I have plenty left to do, but with my husband's help, he's home and he's like, okay, I see what your goal is. I see what you want to do. And he's being helpful, which is wonderful. And we're just kind of slowly just chipping away at these things that he didn't even know I did. Because as I said, you know, my husband travels with work. So always before we had our daughter, what I would do is I would wait till he would go out on a job, because he used to go out on 6-week jobs. Luckily, it's nothing like that anymore. But I would wait and he would go, and I would do major projects in the house, and I would do like major deep cleaning, and you know, I did stuff like that he didn't even know I did or kept up on. And so I think he's seeing now why I'm like, this house is so dirty. So that being said, you know, I am trying to do what's best for me, what's best for my family, what's best for my babies, because I also have this like tremendous mom guilt of not doing my best for my daughter, even though I know I did. I'm like, I could have done so much better, and I need to be better, and you know, all these different things. And so that's what I'm making an effort of doing. You wouldn't know that by my diet right now. I do try. I am trying. It might not look like I'm trying. I'm at a loss. I'm struggling with food. It's really hard, you know, and I'm trying not to get too down about things like that. And just kind of go with it. And so that's what I'm doing the best that I can with that. I am off the smoothies for right now. I kind of got burnt out, but I am eating more food and getting some veggies in. So I'm like, it is happening. So I'm like, well, okay, I'll go with this for a while, and then I'll go back. I'll get all the stuff for smoothies. I'll get back on the smoothies because I know it's important. I am taking all of my, you know, vitamins and everything. And that being said, I am day 2 now on progesterone because I'm 16 weeks, and so they're concerned that I'm going to go early because I went very early with my daughter, naturally, very early with my daughter. And that's their concern. So they're putting me on this progesterone. So I've been very hesitant about it. I don't like messing with things like that personally. But I'm like, I'll give it a try. And if I have any kind of, like if I don't feel very good, any kind of side effects that way, if I go through tremendous mood swings or anything like that, like I'm just going to tell my doctor, look, it's not working. So yesterday I had a terrible headache all day. This is not my first encounter with headaches with this pregnancy, so I don't know if it was due to the progesterone or if it was just like I have no idea. Today I really don't have that, so I've noticed I'm more like hot than normal, which is great. It's great. This morning I was just freezing cold, but like standing here right now, normally I would be either fine or maybe a little chilly. I'm warm, like I'm warm. So that's unusual. So I'm just kind of monitoring that, seeing how it goes. Our next doctor's appointment is next Tuesday, which is April 12th. It's going to be just a routine, regular appointment. We'll see if we'll be able to see the baby this time or not. Last time he had this little handheld device we could see the baby on. And I'm wondering if they're going to send me for lab work because we did the chromosome test. But what we have not done yet, we had to wait till 16 weeks, was the spina bifida test. And that is something that, just really for, I don't know if it's peace of mind or preparation or what. My grandma had a baby, my aunt, who was born with spina bifida, and she did not make it. And I know technology, things have come a long way, but if that's something we're dealing with, I kind of want to know ahead of time. Just because it's always been a worry of mine. She was the only one born in our family, to my knowledge, that had that. But anyway, that's just something. So that's kind of what's going on. That's kind of the ups and downs of everything that's going on here. And just me trying to stay present, stay, connected to my baby, because I struggled with my daughter and I are so connected now. Like, we're so connected now. And I know some moms just struggle with it in general. And I don't know if that's just me or if it was my environment, my surroundings, my life, state of life or whatever, whenever I was pregnant with my daughter, that just affected, me and my ability to do that. Because I was just I was just like rubble on the inside, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm so hot. I was excited, but I was just like torn apart on the inside. And so that was a struggle. And so I'm really trying to stay present, focused, whatever, and also do things for my body. Even if my nutrition is not always there, I am trying to do things for my body. So with my daughter, I walked. I did not walk every day, but I probably walked about, probably like 4 times a week, maybe. Something like that. And I did squats. I know it's really important to keep your body, limber but in shape. And I was really focused on like my hips. My chiropractor was like, you need to focus on that area. So that's what I was doing. Where this time I've walked a little bit. I haven't walked that much yet. We're just getting to the weather where it will be okay to walk anyway. I've done squats here and there, not like every day. But I am on my 3rd day. I haven't done it yet today, but the last 2 days I have done prenatal yoga, and I'm noticing like a difference with that. I feel like that's a good thing to do to like just keep limber. So maybe if I start walking and then doing the prenatal yoga, and then I can get my nutrition hopefully in check. My husband's like, you go to have a baby and we have to eat terrible for like an entire year. And it's funny because even I have an Instagram account that is just dedicated to me cooking. Like, I love to cook. And he was like, gourmet meals are out the window. We're eating frozen junk and blah, 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 And he's not being mean or anything. He's just like, I just miss like the normal. And I'm like, so do I, But I am keeping an eye on my weight because I have been eating, not great stuff also, which is not the norm for me to consistently be eating things like this. But I did drop weight in my first trimester without even trying, with eating junk food. So I started out at one weight and I dropped 5 pounds without trying. And I am, as of today, like I weighed, but I weighed after I had breakfast. So I would say that's not entirely accurate for how I normally do my weight or whatever. I'm trying not to fixate on my weight too much, but I am trying to keep like a gauge on it, if that makes sense. I don't want to be unhealthy about anything. I don't want to go too far, overweight unnecessarily too early, but I also don't want to fixate on it so much that that becomes detrimental to me and the baby. But as of today, after my breakfast, I weighed what I weighed at the beginning of this pregnancy. Which is a little higher than what I would normally like to be at by just like a couple of pounds, like nothing crazy. But again, I have a belly, baby's in there, so I think I'm doing okay. I think I'm staying on a pretty good, even keel track of things. I know my nutrition just needs like a little extra boost. And like I said, I'll give it about a week break and then I'll get back to the smoothies. And I felt like that was really bringing a lot of good nutrients to the baby. So that's my goal, is to kind of get back to that. So that's the update. That's my 16-week update, along with a little Dear Diary moment of, trying to do pregnancy number 2 different than pregnancy number 1, just because, we don't want any more catastrophic life events going on right now. Like, I'm pregnant, I want to just be able to enjoy it. Like, please, come on, please. And like I said, we have some bad news about a couple family members right now, and they're just on my mind every day. And I worry about them and I pray for them. And so it's not that I'm not affected by that. I'm just really hoping that they can hop out of the problem of the medical, things that they have. And that's my hope. Like, I don't want any more bad. Just no more bad. I don't think any of us could handle any more bad. We're bad out. No more. So anyway, that's the update. Just a little bit of my ramblings. Thanks for making my lunch with me, and I will catch you next time. Bye.